Have you ever wondered how the Israel-Hamas conflict started and evolved over the years? It's a complex narrative, filled with historical intricacies and geopolitical sensitivities. Understanding its roots is not just about knowing the past, but also about understanding the present and anticipating the future. From the rise of Hamas to the ongoing tensions and confrontations, every chapter of this story adds a layer to the overall picture. This conflict is not confined to a particular region or people. Its ripple effects can be felt globally, influencing international policies and human rights discourses. Stay tuned as we journey through the annals of history to unravel the progression of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Let's travel back to 2005, a pivotal year in the history of the Israel-Hamas conflict. This was the year when Israel took a significant step. It withdrew its forces and settlers from the Gaza Strip. This evacuation, known as disengagement, was seen as a move towards peace. However, it also created a power vacuum in Gaza. The following year, in 2006, this vacuum was filled by Hamas, an Islamist political organization often characterized as militant. Winning the Palestinian legislative elections, Hamas came to power, shaking the region's dynamics. This same year witnessed a distressing event, the capture of Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit by Hamas militants. His abduction was a clear indication of the escalating tensions between Israel and Hamas. In 2007, the power dynamics shifted even more dramatically. Hamas, in a swift and surprising move, took complete control over the Gaza Strip, ousting its political rival, Fatah. This takeover was a turning point, setting the stage for the years of conflict that would follow. This marked the beginning of a long journey of conflict and strife. As we move forward in time, the conflict intensified, leading to a series of violent events. The first major flare-up came in 2008 when Israel launched a military offensive in Gaza. This was not an isolated incident, but rather a manifestation of the growing tension between Israel and Hamas. Fast forward to 2014, and we see another major offensive by Israel in Gaza. This time, the scale of the conflict was even greater, with a devastating impact on the civilian population. The tension did not ease in the following years, and in 2018, Palestinians took to the streets in protest, expressing their frustration and despair. In May of 2021, the conflict reached a new peak. There were violent clashes, rocket fire and airstrikes, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. The world watched in horror as the situation spiraled out of control. Then, in August of 2022, a significant event occurred that would further escalate the conflict. Israel killed a senior Islamic Jihad commander, which led to a surge in rocket fire and airstrikes. The violence was relentless, with no end in sight. The escalation led to a significant increase in tension and violence, marking a dark period in the history of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Fast forward to the present day, the conflict continues with no clear end in sight. We've seen Israeli warplanes strike Gaza following a rocket attack. These strikes targeted the training camps of Hamas, a Palestinian political organization, and a rocket production site, with thankfully no casualties reported. Despite this, the damage done to the infrastructure was a stark reminder of the ongoing strife. In a separate incident, Hamas challenged Israel over a nationalist flag march in Jerusalem. This annual event, celebrating Israel's capture of the Old City in the '67 Middle East War, has been a consistent source of tension, especially as it passes through the Muslim quarter. Just recently, we witnessed a major flare-up between Israel and Palestinians in Gaza. This marked the most serious escalation between Palestinian militants and Israel since the 11-day war in May of 2021. Israeli airstrikes hit Gaza, and the militant Islamic Jihad group fired rockets into Israel, resulting in the deaths of around 30 Palestinians. As we stand today, the Israel-Hamas conflict continues to be a complex, multifaceted issue with deep historical roots. The Israel-Hamas conflict has left a profound impact on the region and the world. But what does the future hold? The conflict has shaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, affecting the lives of millions. It has triggered an international response, stirring emotions and leading to debates worldwide. In this video, we've traced the genesis of the conflict, the escalation, and the current situation. We've seen how tensions heightened over confrontations in Jerusalem's Old City, the rocket attacks, and the airstrikes. We've witnessed the rise of Hamas, the capture of an Israeli soldier, and the subsequent military offensives. The potential implications for the future are broad and far-reaching. This conflict could set the stage for further tension and violence, or it could lead to a renewed push for peace and understanding. The international community has a role to play in facilitating dialogue and promoting resolution. However, the future is uncertain. The stakes are high and the path forward is fraught with challenges. As the world watches, there is hope that wisdom, compassion, and a commitment to peace will guide the actions of all parties involved. Only time will tell how this conflict will evolve. Until then, we can only hope for peace and understanding between Israel and Hamas.